Hello, I am joined by Blazey and Cerb. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
What's up?
We are going to be talking about the new regiment on the block, the 12 AST. Um, so, what's up with that name? Why the 12 AST?
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I was just looking through Russian regiments because I wanted to do something that wasn't really like done frequently, and I just was looking through like a list of well-known Russian regiments, and I saw the 12th Astrakhan Grenadiers regiment, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds pretty ballin'. I at that time I wasn't even thinking about like the 12ES or any of that shit, and like, I mean, I just picked it, and then later people started saying, hey, yeah, lol, 12 AS, lol, lol, lol. And yeah, and I said, yeah, fuck you guys, and kept it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
And Blazey, you just signed off like, yep,
I
okay.
just said, yep, full send.
So before we talk about the regiment, I actually want to talk about like you two individually. We'll start with you, Blazey. You've had like a pretty eventful past month because I know like you moved recently, and like you apparently you were in the 77th, but you weren't in the 77th, and now you're like the co-captain of the HDL team and stuff. So like, how has the past like few months been like for you?
Well, I mean, in the words of I kind of like hampered my career, like melee wise, going to another regiment. So I decided to come back 77th. Sort of started to like melee again, and yeah, so I'm getting back into things, unwashing myself. And I'm still like in the 77th, mostly just for like events or if they need me for melee, things like that. Uh, yeah, and HDL, I'm having a good time with it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening.
Cool. And with Serb, I know that you were in the KRA briefly, right? And then the 63 before that. So, yeah, what's been going on with you? Like, why'd you leave the KRA and do this whole thing?
I mean, it's always been a thought in the back of my mind. I mean, I've been in this community since 2019, um, and like joining the KRA initially from the 8th LR. Little known fact to all those people who haven't been here in a while. I started off in the 8th LR, but I at first the first time I left the KRA was just their company politics were bullshit, and I hated it, and it actually made me hate the game, and in turn I left it. Then 63, I was bored of line battles, so I left it. Like the line battles were boring as hell. And the second time the KRA, it was a lot more personal ideology, where I genuinely didn't like how they handled competitive. Like it would be a struggle to just get enough people to show up to trainings for NWL, and I mean, it showed when we got slapped around in the last match, and so I started this to kind of push my own ideology on how things should be ran. And no, this is not just going to be a regiment that gets a lot of good meleeers and to try and win RGL. It's like a regiment I want to stick around and have my name, make a name for it. Even if we don't win RGL, like I'm not just going to disband at the moment RGL's over.
Cool. So, Blazy, I know that you were in the 63E for a brief moment of time.
Yep.
Is that where you and Serb sort of like got to know each other, or like how did you like, I guess,
Um,
co-found? I guess.
oh well, I mean, yeah, we decided on this when we were like in the 63, like just towards the end of it. It was just like a paper reg at that time, and yeah, we just sort of were planning it out what we wanted to do and how we wanted things to be run. And I mean, before that, like I've known Serb for a while. We sort of came up in melee together. I remember calling him a shitter a lot.
Yeah, I called you a shit or two.
It's all right. I was better. Um, yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, we just really planned on it there, and we were both, I think, upset with the same things, and decided to change it.
Cool. So let's talk about the 12 AST. I think people don't really know what it's about, and they're kind of like skeptical with it because we have had like the sort of whatever Paprika did with the 12ES. So I think that's sort of like burned into people's minds.
Yeah.
And it didn't end too well. So I guess that's why people are kind of skeptical when like these good meleeers come together, get some other good meleeers to kind of do something with it, right? So what is the 12 AST about? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, to first dispel that whole thing about good meleeers coming together, the only people that like really came together was me and Blazey at first, and then I kind of asked Paprika, "Hey, would you be interested?" Because I know you're not in a regiment technically. He's kind of just showed up with the NR22 to group fight, and QR doesn't care if you double reg if it's an NA only, and so and then but the KRA people, I mean, they had the exact same thoughts I did on the KRA competitive, and a lot of them weren't happy with it, especially like Chris and Verb. But what we plan on doing is, I mean, we want to build natural talent. Like, I mean, we got some guys that are actually like one of our guys. He's really willing to put the work in. And that actually makes me really happy that already within a week of us forming, we have a guy that wants to put in the work in. He comes to as many events as he can, puts time in the melee servers, and yeah, like we just want to build like I just want to build a regiment, like something that could actually compete with straight up natural talent, like get build some of the next gen meleeers.
Yep, we're definitely on that track.
So it is a melee oriented regiment then?
Not per se. If anything, right now you could call us a pub regiment. With how much pubs we've been playing, I would put us at like a very casual, like event orientated regiment. That obviously, like we have a strong comp team, so we're gonna use it. But that's not all we're about. Like again, we this past week alone, like I no lifed and put like 50 hours into pubs.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
we've been playing a lot, getting to know the pub community.
shit. I mean, we even
Yeah,
had some EB guys working for us at the NR22 event today.
yeah.
So does that mean you guys won't be attending line battles, or what's that about?
Oh no,
No,
we do
we are.
attend we do attend line battles. We're not
Okay.
just strictly pub. We have four events currently on our schedule, and I'm debating if I want to do a Saturday event because I'm not a fan of either of them.
Yeah.
So how would you guys say you're both similar and different to like the traditional regiment?
Um, I think we're kind of your just a standard regiment. Like we probably play a bit more pubs than like you say like the 63. Uh, we don't do massive organized pub stomps. We just kind of be like, hey, wants to play some pubs right now? Maybe get a couple recruits, but just have a good time and play some pubs. And unlike the KRA, who's like, all right, we're going on a ribbon drive / a pub stomp, and we do take. I mean, I do plan once. Like, we plan on signing up for the Rifle League just to get our feet wet, or get the whole regiment's feet wet in comp. I think we can. We have a chance of being top 3, but not really. Don't really care about the results for the Rifle League. It's meant to be a minor league from RGM, but I do want to put a decent focus on competitive and be one of those top contenders for anything, honestly.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. We've definitely been on the right track, training a lot, and all our new guys are showing a lot of promise. We've been growing a lot, um, size-wise. We've been having consistent uptick on numbers. So in 1 week, we're averaging 10 people to an event. So doing pretty good.
Cool. I don't know when Chris joined, but I know Paprika also joined recently. Are they both currently in the regiment?
Yes, Chris
Yep.
joined the moment I pulled the plug or I pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
It was
they're founders.
yeah. Paprika has always been quote unquote in the regiment, but quote unquote not in the regiment, so he could do group fights with the NR22. And then he officially joined the registry today.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it just you four that are like the big names, quote unquote, and then the rest are the people you recruited off pubs, I guess?
No, we have Verb, Nico from the KRA,
Yep.
Oxy from the KRA. you're gonna notice quite a big trend. It's a lot of the KRA and Avon Grens.
Yeah, we have Cluck.
Okay, Cluck's an but he's there for moral support, and he might show up to an event too.
I think it's safe to say that KRA NA comp is sort of dead. I think only Ben is left, and maybe Pepperoni.
Well, Pep doesn't really play the game anymore, sadly. But yeah, Pep are the only, or Vaughn, Pep, and Elcom are the only, from the initial KRA versus 12ES group fight that are still there.
Cool. So actually, I think it was last July, so a year ago, I had a similar interview with Paprika and Verb, and they were forming a regiment that we all know as the 12ES. Um, so that didn't really work out, and I know that you two actually have had some you guys were like considering joining, and then some like poaching incident happened. I'm not exactly sure, but what were your guys' relations with like Paprika and the 12ES when that whole thing was going down?
I was genuinely considering joining. It was at a time in the KRA where I was not feeling motivated to play with them, and I mean, shit. You can even ask Paprika. I sent him a picture of a fully typed out transfer request, and I was genuinely ready to join it. And yeah,
So what ended up happening? Because I know things kind of went downhill.
they merged with the Ion, and then all the bullshit. Which from now today, hearing Paprika's point on it, it seems like it was really just a whole lot of bullshit. That people were just really salty that their members were leaving, so they basically Twitter canceled them.
And Blazey, I know that you were also considering joining or something.
Yeah. No, I would say I was like kind of close, kind of memeing. I don't know. It depends on the date. At first, I wasn't really serious, but a little later I was, and then there was just I would say a miscommunication, and I decided to kill it, to put it bluntly. So
I know that that incident sort of soured like both of your relations with Paprika, and I guess you've mended it now. But how do you guys think that mending happened? Because I know all too well that once something goes down, like it's sort of hard to sort of mend relations after that.
I think it was more of the fact that, like, after the whole Jagar stuff, I think Paprika really mellowed out, and I really didn't want to carry on holding beef with a guy who was very clearly hurt by a friend killing himself. And it was more like at that point I just kind of laid off, and then we started playing pickups together, and I drafted him on a team. He said, "Good job, captain," and like it slowly started built. Like we started just kind of squashing the beef there, and then we started playing on flanks together, and we realized it worked really well out of nowhere, and I guess kind of just time heals wounds.
yeah, I just sort of started talking to him, and we're fine. Like I wouldn't say like I really like hated the guy, or I would even say vice versa. It's just like everyone just assumed that it was like a mutual hatred.
I also think it was also due to. I mean, you saw the memes from RGL. It was. I mean, it was also a lot of the RGL memes, like the two KRA propaganda videos, and then the last group fighter were more of like just kind of like just souring the relations. But I mean, at that point, I think as we kind of the time went on, we just kind of realized it was just poking fun at one another. And yeah, such is the duality of Melee.
Um, who's running the comp team? Because I know that Paprika has a pretty strong personality and is very like well versed in the competitive scene. So like, is he going to be running things comp
I
wise or
will.
what's?
I am. I will take advice from my members. I will take his advice. I will take Blazey's advice. I will take Ferb's advice. I will take Chris's advice. But I will be running it.
Okay, you're gonna like make that clear.
I will make that very clear that I am still the one running this regiment. I am running the competitive team. If you have things you want to say about it, let me know, and I will take it into heavy consideration. And potentially, and if I view it as correct, I will implement it.
And Blaze, I'm assuming you're more of the pub side, or
No, I I would say I'm more of like the regiment, like the relations side more. He's more like in the regiment. I'll be more like out of it. That's how we're splitting the roles essentially.
cool. I know that when the 12VS like first formed, there were a lot of like it. There were a lot of like rocky relationships, like with the 45E, with the 26th. Because when you have like people from different regiments that are like like big names coming together, you get a lot of like poaching accusations. So have you guys had to deal with any of that, or are you concerned that that might be a thing in the future?
Funnily enough, all of us have been banned from the first PB Discord because they have proof of us red sniping, and then Chris started talking to Achilles in pub servers, and he said, "Yeah, the proof is literally just because Paprika and Verb are in the regiment, and they were in 12ES." So we do already have poaching accusations, but I want to make it clear here: I do not want to poach anybody. If you want to join the regiment, I will take the necessary steps to talk with your leader and clear up the air to make sure they know we have not poached you and you are coming here on your own accord.
Do you guys think like it's kind of toxic right now with the whole like poaching accusations? Because it seems like to me like you don't even need proof. You just it's all based on like coincidence and what people's like gut feelings are, right? So
Yeah.
how do you combat that?
Well, the only people who have said anything are the first PP, and I mean, I've just told the guys like it's the first PP. Who gives a fuck what they think about us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
I think
hopefully it
we're
doesn't
all on the same
snowball into
page.
something bigger, right?
Well, according to all the big regiments, it's fine. It's just the small ones that worry.
Hmm. Hot take: red sniping doesn't exist.
Yep.
Only if you're like sniping recruits that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Or just follow Birdie's guide. We'll just seduce them slowly.
Um, it seems like there's a lot of people with that opinion, but the same people with that opinion will also ban regiments from events if they quote unquote red snipe. So I don't really understand that. Just
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, this is more of a history lesson that I've learned from playing NW, but I mean, the whole poaching stuff is just hangover from NW beef from the 63 and NR9, the two biggest regiments hold fast from NW, the only two regiments that stayed along from NW. And it's just because I guess poaching was really prevalent in that, like genuine poaching. But it doesn't exist in Holdfast as people think it does.
Now where are you guys getting all your recruits from? Because there has been a Holdfast update recently. Um, but from what I'm gathering, it's pretty dry out there. So like, what have you guys been doing?
Grinding.
Yeah, we're on the pub servers a lot, and I mean, I don't know how Chris does it, but Chris can just recruits. Like, I don't know how he can do it, but like he just gets recruits somehow.
Yeah.
And these new recruits, like, you're not expecting them to be like competitive melee players within a
Not
month
at
or
all.
anything, right?
We're not even like we're just asking them if they're interested, and that's the extent of it. If they are, then come to trainings. Yeah, it's not a melee regiment. It's like I swear, it's just pub and normal line battles. Like we are honestly memeing and ship posting during the line battles we're in. Um, so and then we'll play comp, I guess, if it's there.
Cool. Do you guys have like a 10-man group fighting squad like ready to go?
Yeah,
Or
Yep.
already, really?
it's actually more a 13 man, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also allowed regging if your regiment's only EU. So John Polian came as well from the QRR because QRR doesn't care if you dual reg with a NA only regiment. So as then obviously Blazey, myself, Chris, Ferb, Moxie, Nico, Pluck will show up to group fights if asked. John Polian. I don't think I said Paprika yet, and a few others. We already have a group
I,
team
I
set
have the
up.
list.
John Polian, he's in the regiment, or is he dual regging like EUNA for you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, with John Napoleon, I literally I DM'd Spitfire like today, and he didn't respond because I guess he's been like unavailable all day. But like I remember HDL season one, John Napoleon was begging Spitfire to draft him because he was afraid that he would go undrafted, because he was like one of those like trash GDE players, if you guys remember. And this man now is freaking cracked. Like he's out fragging like top tier NA players, and like he has improved so much. So like I don't know. I'm just like flabbergasted by John Napoleon.
Just being in the QRR. That's all I got to say on that. QRR is indisputably the best EU regiment. Like that's all I can say on that is just being around those people, like being around Elf, Keth. Don't know if I think Draco's still on the QRR. I'm not 100%, but just being around that regiment just gets you better at the game on the EU side.
Cool. Um, let's see here. Have you guys had a group fight yet?
We have one scheduled, or we're trying to schedule one.
I think we actually had in the Seven Foods. We had one scheduled with you
Yeah.
guys a few days ago, but we canceled for some reason.
Yes, I think Blazey, Los and Danny, they're trying to reschedule it, right?
They said they'd get back to me. I gotta get back to them today or tomorrow. So they have not.
Blazey, I think you need to explain your regimental situation because you have like one of the most confusing regimental situations ever. Because with the whole like royalty thing, I thought that was a regiment, but then Ed's like, no, that's just a rank because he's too lazy to put 77 tags in. But then you're like in the 77th, but then you're also in like the 12 AST. So like, what is going on with Blazey? Just
Well,
simple. What is going on?
12 AST is the regiment that I'm in right now, and I dual reg with 77th until Ed like decides to kick me out or not. If they need me for group fighting, I'll group fight. If it doesn't like conflict with any scheduling of other teams or anything, mostly just events and stuff there. So it's pretty casual. I like hanging out with a lot of the people there. So
Um, Now I know that you left the 77th. I believe after I left. I left. I think shortly after RGL last year. Um, so
possibly, I don't remember.
so like, why do you think you left, and why are you sort of clinging on to them now?
I'll just come back for like just comfortable there. I have a decent time with everyone. Um, I left originally just because of like the state of the regiment. Um, I wasn't really a fan of it, and yeah, and now I just want to lead and do other things. So I need to start a regiment, and been having a good time doing it so far.
Cool. So like, what are your ambitions with the 12 EST? Like, do you guys want to like be competitive in RGL? Do you guys want to be like a huge KRA line in events? Like, what are you guys hoping to accomplish?
Well, we already are competitive in RGL.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, we're already there for that. I would say that I think we have a pretty good chance to go pretty far in the RGL. I'd like to do NWL for next year. We'll see how that goes. Um, Long term, though, I think eventually, I think we want to make it to the next NW game. So
Yep, that
that's
is
the calling in the future.
our current short-term goal is to make it front page on the regiment registry.
Yes, that is what we have been committed to.
So you just get a lot of natural recruitment from that.
Um, so with the RGL coming up, what will you say to people that are thinking like, oh, this 12 AST thing, it's not like a real regiment, it's just like a group of meleeers that are just coming together for this one thing, and then after it's over, they're just gonna scatter. Like, what would you say to people that may think something like that?
Go fuck yourself.
Yes.
That
I
is.
want this. Hold on, actually, I should probably elaborate on that first. Yeah. Okay. So go fuck yourself. I want this regiment to last. This isn't just going to be something that I get a bunch of fucking good meleeers to come together for RGL. I want this regiment to last till Holdfast dies, and we all move on to our next Black Powder game. I want this to be a longevity. I want this to be another household name regiment, like the 45V, like the KRA, like the 77, like the 7 Foos, regiments that are long standing. I want this to be the next regiment people start talking about. Like, hey, they're one of those top contenders now. They're the people that are going to be we're considering getting, or that we're thinking has that chance to go deep or win those big competitive regimental tournaments. I want this regiment to be a strong regiment, a fun regiment, and a regiment people can just come to have a good time in public.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I want to cater. I want to cater to as many people as I can.
Cool. Well, I guess just don't merge with the IN, and everything will be
Yeah,
fine.
I'm not. Yeah, fuck. I mean, Iron's dead. It's Tyler's nowhere to be found.
MIA. One thing that I'm noticing is that you guys like have a lot of people like Verb and maybe even Chris to an extent that like have a history of being in like a lot of different regiments. So like, are you looking to like build a foundation so then it doesn't matter if some people just kind of like hop in and out of the regiment?
All right. Well, the Chris, that's just a lie. He was in the KRA until he wasn't having fun because the NA side started falling apart.
I think you
So
bounce around the 45E in and out a bit as
he
well.
he went from V to KRA to 45E to back to KRA to the 12 AST, which is, and then Verb, once the NA side was truly dead and he was the last one there, he just started fucking about training regiments in melee, and just getting the community better. And then once the whole NA side started kind of scrounging back together for the KRA, he came back and now he's here. And then so to get this one out as well, because people accuse Nico of red shopping, only 2 were by choice. He got banned from the KRA initially for some bullshit, and went to the 12ES. 12ES dissolved, so he went to the 7 Foos. Then he came back to the KRA when he got unbanned. Now he's here. And I had bigger ideological issues both times with the KRA, so I left. Like none of the people are genuine red shoppers, no matter what people try and say. They just didn't like the regiments they were in, so they left. And like I said, I try to make this regiment enjoyable for people. And I mean, shit, Ferb seems to be having a good time. He was having a whale of a time leading today.
Yeah, that was a good time.
What would you guys say your relations with the KRA are? Because it seems like you guys have a lot of history with them. So, like, are you guys looking to friends, like, be neutral with each other? Like, what's the situation? I don't even know what the KRA leadership is now with Haybales and um, what's his name?
KJ,
Yeah, KJ, like leaving. Like, so with the current leadership, like, are you guys cool with them or like what's going on?
we're fine with them. They have no hard feelings at us. I mean, they I still have access to their competitive channels in case they want need help with an NA group because they don't exactly have an NA team anymore. But yeah, no, we're still on fine terms with the KRA. I mean, Ben came and worked with us, and Ezio is his boyfriend, and that's the leader of the regiment. I think their negative issue wouldn't even be in the Discord.
Cool. I think we actually covered everything. Um, you guys have any like final remarks or anything we haven't talked about? Anything you want people to know about the regiment?
I have two things. To all those doubters out there, fuck you, and shout out to Ben. You asked me to. That's all I gotta say.
Anything out of Blazey? Any final words of wisdom?
No, that's pretty much it. Just chilling.
Blazey is just chilling. Okay, this
Yeah.
has been the 12 AST interview. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the battlefield. Probably going to be fighting Blazey on the flank.
Don't hurt me.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No problem. Just trying to well any or just trying to dispel any rumors.
Yes.
I don't know how to stop recording. Oh, God.